Welcome back to the High Roller Tournament at the Showboat in Las Vegas. A good look at the Ebonite Trophy for the champion of this event.
1,403 bowlers entered this tournament, and we are down to the final two battling for $200,000. 19-year-old Mike Lichstein, 42-year-old Harry Mickelson. Quite a contrast.
Steve, I'm just as excited as they are. I just wish there's some way I could bowl for that kind of money. It is so exciting. I've been here all week. I've watched it. It is tremendous. This is a moment we've been waiting for.
Well, Bill, as a Hall of Famer, when you were on the tour, what was the most you won in any tournament?
10,000.
10,000 on the Pro Tour. Quite an amazing difference, $200,000. My goodness, that's, 5 times the Super Bowl share for the winning Super Bowl team last year. Incredible. Now, here's how they got here. Mike Lichstein won over Charles Marshall, 226 to 179. Wasn't close. Lichstein took over with his unorthodox style, his powerful left hook, and in the battle of two left-handers, Lichstein, the younger 19-year-old, won it. Now, Harry Mickelson on Team USA with a good chance to go to the Olympics. He won in a much lower scoring match. He beat Ed Karwinski 193 to 180.
Before we get to our championship round, let's point out the type of prize money that people have won here at the High Roller Tournament. Over 7 years, $7,600,000 plus given away in just this year alone. Over $1.5 million in prize money. Right now, as we get set for the championship, here are our finalists. Harry Mickelson, 42 years old, from Kodiak, Alaska, against the youngest member in the Final Four, 19-year-old Mike Lichstein from West Suffield, Connecticut.
We are ready for the championship match of the 7th annual High Roller Tournament here at the Showboat Bowling Center in Las Vegas. The winner takes home $200,000. Harry Mickelson, 42 years old, will bowl first on lane 59, and his opponent, 19-year-old Mike Lichstein. Good follow through. Hits the pocket and strikes.
Great shot, Steve. That's as good as any shot he made in his first match.
And now Mike Lichstein. We're in Las Vegas, and you realize this man is not old enough to put a quarter in a slot machine yet? I don't think many slot machines can pay off what he is about to bowl for. A little bit high, left the 6th.
He looked a little slower on that shot, Steve. Possibly just a little bit. As a result, a little too high, leaving the 6 pin. The moment of truth. I'm as nervous as they must be.
Well, look at this. This kid's 19 years old, and he's already got $100,000 in the bank no matter what he does here. He gets it. So he spares in his first frame, and we are even.
Steve, I have said it before, and I'll say it again. Their downfall could be thinking about the money. Don't think about the money. Just play their game.
Well, Harry Mickelson said he's bowling here because it'll help him in international competition and possibly Olympic competition. Meanwhile, this young man, well, now you're looking at the sponsors, Jim and Susan Kent. They are Harry Mickelson's sponsors. This young man will try for Team USA next year. On a spare.
Steve, we have the East Coast, the Northeast Coast against the Northwest, way up there, Alaska.
And Harry Mickelson, originally from South Dakota, trying for a double. Oh, man, the 7 doesn't go, and he shows his chagrin with a hard smack of the fist.
It's a nice shot, Steve, but it shows the lack of carry sometimes with the bowler who just throws it straight rather than really turns it like Mike does.
Leave that solid 10.
A straight ball bowler, though, usually will stay out of trouble. He's not as likely to get in as much trouble as the bowler who uses much more of the lanes, recovers more boards.
Covers the spare. And as he said, bowling is alive and well in our 49th state, as we're still even after 2 frames. Now, how do you get on Team USA? He qualified at the state tournament. He won the Alaska State Tournament. He went down to Portland, Oregon, and won the regional. And then he went to the nationals in the regional, by the way. 2nd through 5 were left-handers. He was the righty.
Great shot.
Strike that time in the 3rd frame.
Ironically, do you realize he's bowling for $100,000 difference as practice for a tournament that he can earn no money?
That's right. He got the bronze at the Nationals in Detroit. We'll get back to him a little bit. Right now, we've got Mike Lichstein, who is even, working on a strike in his 3rd frame. He left a solid 6 in the 1st frame and spared. Not quite enough mix there to get those final 2 pins down.
Steve, I heard someone in the audience yell twister. I think he twisted that one just a little too much. A little too much skid. Didn't quite finish in the back.
3 still wobbling there. 3-6.
3-6.
He's been bowling since 4 years old, the son of Larry Lichstein, former pro, now service director on the Pro Tour. That could hurt. Those are the sponsors of Mickelson, the Kents.
Yes.
Play the game now.
Do you realize in his earlier match, he missed the 10-pin? Same lane, threw it too wide. He did it again. He is now 12 pins down.
Jack Cook and Judy Moore from the Showboat. Another outstanding event for the Showboat Hotel Casino and Bowling Center. Now on an open, he's in the 4th frame, trailing by 12 pins.
Everything he didn't do on the last shot, he did it on that shot.
And Mike Lichstein, the only years of the high roller tournament to make it to the finals twice. Stay with us. The competitors in this championship round had to win 10 straight games to get to this position. Steve Gratt and Bill Allen back with you for the championship round. For $200,000, Harry Mickelson in the 4th frame, up by 12, trying for a double in this high roller tournament. He's a straight bowler, puts it in the pocket, and again leaves the 10. Now in this lane, he left the 10.
Both times already. Just a little late coming into the pocket. If I were bowling on that pair, I would move my approach back about 6 inches. Just let the ball turn a little sooner.
Oh, man, he did get that one. I'll tell you, this man, you think 42 years old, a school teacher, he's on Team America, Team USA. He wouldn't have any superstitions, but he does have one. And you know what his biggest superstition is? He does not like when he gets either a strike and a spare in the first 2 frames and his opponent gets a spare and a strike, just the reverse. And that's what happened in this match. Mickelson struck on 1, spared on 2, Lichstein spare on 1, strike on 2. Yet it happened earlier today, and of course he won because he's here in the finals. That time, the 10 goes down.
Another great shot. Oh, he likes the left lane, having a little trouble with the right lane, but he's still in the pocket. Good on both lanes.
Now, in the 5th frame, trailing by 12, he has been leaving pins on this number 60 lane for Mike Lichstein in the 5th frame. Quite a mix on that ball.
A duplicate of his last shot.
But he really had to overcome some psychological problem with that lane because he was getting snake bit there, and that time he did it with a solid strike.
He's missed 2 spares on that lane by throwing the ball too wide. Watch this. Great turn on the ball as it comes charging back with all the power he can muster. Great pin action. One of the few times Mike has been behind in his matches throughout this entire tournament.
Trying for a turkey, he's down by 2 pins in the 6th frame. There are the Kents, the sponsors of Harry Mickelson.
Very intense.
There was only one man in the 1,403 who entered this tournament who didn't seem upset when he lost the first match. And I'll tell you that right after this ball.
Messenger.
You don't see Mickelson's sponsors cheering, but that messenger pin carried and knocked the 7 down. And a turkey for Lichstein. And now Mickelson trails by 8 pins. He's trying for a double. The only man who didn't mind losing was Phil Hassel, who won the New York lottery. And Lichstein will win a lottery of his own if he hangs on. The kingpin refuses to go down, and that makes it a difficult split.
Steve, it appeared as if he tried to loft the ball a little more, which would give him a little more turn on the ball and maybe a little more finish on the back end. It just didn't work. It skidded a little too far, came in light, left the 5-7. He must make this fair.
Always go for the pin closer to you. Line up so it deflects. Whips around that 7 pin.
I think he thought he had it, but he didn't have quite the speed he needed to keep the ball out to the right of the 5-pin.
Now Harry Mickelson trails by 20 as we are in frame number 7. That was his first open, and there's
Lichstein. Concentrating hard, does not watch his opponent.
Very light, missed the head pin, leaves himself a bad split. Wow.
It has to shake you, Steve, to have the open the previous frame, even though he had bowled very well on 59. Probably still on his mind, the 5-7, as he made a bad shot. Leaves the washout.
And it's makeable, especially with people of this caliber.
Very much so.
Lichstein still knows from the lack of cheering that his opponent has not done well.
Looks good. If it doesn't hook.
This is the head pin.
This is the head pin.
Open. There was one bowler who entered, hit $1,100 in the quarter Keno machine, so he says, oh boy, my entry's failed. Oh boy, a 4-bagger for this man.
We've completed 7 frames in our championship match. Stay with us.
You can be part of the next exciting high roller in the New York, Philadelphia areas over the Columbus Day weekend. You may be competing with other amateurs in the next high roller final, sponsored by Fairlanes and seen on ESPN. An entry fee of $500 can become a top prize of $75,000 by winning just 10 single-game matches. Winning just 2 games guarantees you getting your entry fee back. Enter by September 30th for additional cashing opportunities. For information, call 1-800-257-6179.
It's much more than a shot in the dark. The celebrities love it, and we think you'll love it too. Star Shot, the Clay Target shooting game, Friday night at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Jim and Susan Kent watching their share of the $200,000 potential winnings for Harry Mickelson go out the window as Harry has 2 opens and Mike Lichstein has a 4-bagger. And he's up by 42 pins in the 8th frame.
We'd like to thank Chet Henser, our statistician.
By far.
Steve, watch this. Comes charging back a little thin, almost leaves the 7-10, and watch them just wiggle, and simultaneously they fall. Earlier today, he left that and made it.
Harry Mickelson doesn't get a strike. You could say, for all intents and purposes on that last one, 5 in a row, that each of those pins, the 7 and the 10, was worth $50,000 a fall. That's the difference in winning and losing, as Mickelson's down by 52 pins in the 8th frame to this 19-year-old Mike Lichstein. Lichstein's on a 228 pace, and the most that Harry can get is a 196. But, folks, you're going to hear a lot more from Harry Mickelson because he's already competed at the U.S. Olympic training site in Colorado Springs and in West Germany in international competition. And after 12 games in West Germany, this man is the current leader for a spot on the U.S. Olympic bowling team. There are 26 games left, and they will be bowled in Melbourne, Florida.
And Harbor Lands. I know the place well.
A dejected Harry Mickelson goes to back as Mike Lichstein with a 55-pin lead and working on 5 straight strikes with his unorthodox style, like a human pretzel. Leaves 2 there. He loves heavy metal music. He wants to possibly open a record store. If he continues at this pace, he can open a chain.
A chain of them, you're right. Do you realize this young man has won 11 matches in a row? And to Harry Mickelson's credit, this is his first loss.
If you're going to chop, this is the time to do it with a 55-pin lead this late in the match. After winning only 2 games, bowlers will get their $1,500 entry back. The next step is $1,750, then $2,000 payoffs. 33rd through 64th gets $2,400. 17th through 32nd, $3,000. Norm Edelman and his wife Belle doing a great job at this tournament. Messenger fell off the pin deck before it could kick out that 7.
What does a young man 19 years old do with $200,000? His dad's going to be looking for a loan, I know that.
If you bowled in this tournament and came in anywhere from 17th through 32nd, you took home $3,000. He got that 7. 9th through 16 paid $5,300, and 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th took home $10,000. Mike Lichstein finishing up on his spare in the 10th frame. You're looking at a man who at 19 years old has earned himself $200,000 with a 213 finish.
He looks totally drained. Been a long grind, 5 days.
Well, he kind of lost his balance, did Harry, on that one. Leads with 10. And a rough final. I bet he gets a lot of requests from young ladies for dates.
The mailbox will be full the next few weeks.
Probably got him anyway, but especially now. Harry Mickelson will now get an opportunity to bowl one more ball. That's the man who won, folks, with his head down.
It won't sink in for 2-3 days, Steve. And Harry ends it with another 10-pin.
171. Mike Lichstein, with all his pals from New Jersey. Kidlets of America, the official bowling club they're part of, they're mobbing him. Just like a winning football coach.
What a moment. What a moment.
So Mike Lichstein becomes the first ever left-handed champion at the High Roller Tournament. This one at the Showboat in Las Vegas. And stay with us, because when we return, we'll have the awards presentation of the Ebonite Trophy and the big $200,000 check.
there's a level of performance that separates the good from the great. That's why Carmen Salvino designed the Ebonite Thunderbolt. The exclusive power core increases gyroscopic action for a sharper hook on heavy oil. And the Thunderbolt rolls farther before hooking, so it hits harder for less deflection and more striking power. The difference between good and great is the power of the Thunderbolt.
Welcome back here to the Showboat with Mike Lichstein, the winner of $200,000, first place in the 7th annual High Roller Tournament. Congratulations. All your supporters were back here. How much did they help you?
I don't think I could have done it without him, Steve. I can't believe it. It's great. Coming to the Showboat has always been a pleasure. Mr. Jack Cook and Judy Moore, they do a great job. The Showboat's always one of my favorite houses. And again, for the KOA, that's for them right there.
Kidlets of America, your bowling club.
That's them.
I'll tell you what, he's only 19 years old. I'm sure he'll be on that Showboat many, many more years in all the other lanes around the country earning big money. And we have some presentations for you, Mike. First, the Vice President and National Sales Manager from Ebonite, Mr. Bill Supper. Bill?
Mike, on behalf of Ebonite International, I'd like to congratulate you on your High Roller Championship and the $200,000. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just one of many trophies and awards that I know you have on your mantle. And now, even more important than the trophies, the money. And to make that presentation from the Showboat with the check that will be cashed, lovely Miss Judy Moore.
Thanks, Judy.
On behalf of Mr. Kennedy, President, Chairman of the Board, and the Showboat crew, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at that. Okay. Now the first question. What does a 19-year-old do with $200,000?
200,000 compact discs.
Are you going to open up that long sought-after record store you've talked about?
I'll talk to my father. That was a long shot, but came true. It'd be nice.
What do you think your father's thoughts are right now? Larry, the former star pro, and he's still active in the tour.
I don't know what he's going to do. I think he'll probably have a heart attack. I think so. He always told me I could do it, and it was hard to believe. After Atlantic City, that was a great shot, and it didn't come true, but it seemed like just the 710 was the key at the Showboat. The whole, the last round and today was just falling, and I guess it all came back to me.
All right, Bill Allen is here with you, and I know, Bill, you had a comment about the outstanding style that Mike employed today.
He wouldn't want to hear this, but he looks like a pelican taking flight. But he gets the job done, and he did it here. 200,000. Congratulations, Mike. It was a great week.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Mike Lichstein, who has a pro career ahead of him, but he might have to take a pay cut because you don't get $200,000 paydays. Many bowlers received a big payday at this tournament. Places 5 through 8 took home $10,000, including Joe Amling of Florida, Darren Klaus of Missouri, Craig Morga of Michigan, and Robert Newmeyer of Florida. And again, our top four. Charles Marshall from Torrance, California was in 4th place with $25,000. Ed Karwinski of Mount Clemens, Michigan had $50,000 for 3rd. Harry Mickelson of Kodiak, Alaska took home $100,000, and our champ Mike Lichstein $200,000. This concludes the 7th annual High Roller Tournament from the Showboat here in Las Vegas. 19-year-old Mike Lichstein wins the $200,000 top prize by beating Team USA member Harry Mickelson. What an event.
Steve, it's been a great week. We've all enjoyed it. We're looking forward to coming back next year. We all share this moment with Mike and congratulate him and all the other bowlers. Just a great week.
I'll tell you what, 1,403 bowlers from all over the world took part in this event, and you can enter, too. It's the greatest amateur event in the world. A $200,000 top prize. For Bill Allen, I'm Steve Gratt. Thanks for joining us, and so long from the Showboat in Las Vegas. This has been a Kearney Enterprises presentation produced by Cinefit Enterprises in association with ESPN.